Hello. Hi, everyone. Hello to my Facebook group right there. Hello to my Instagram followers right here. If you don't know, my name is Dr. Stephanie Shuttler, and you're either in the Getting a Job in Wildlife Biology Facebook group or you're on my Instagram channel. And I started doing these lives. I started off once a week and then I changed it to every other week. So now we're every other week, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. So right now. And I answer a different question that you guys have. So I am a wildlife biologist. I have been in this career for quite some time now, about 18 years, so almost 2 decades. And now I spend a lot of my time actually helping you guys out, giving you advice. There's so much I've learned over the years, and so much has changed. So I really get a lot of value and pleasure about teaching you guys how to become successful at this career. And it's something that I found, and also I've done research with a bunch of people going into this career or who've graduated with their bachelor's, master's, even PhD, and they are still kind of lost about this career. They still feel like they weren't given the help that they needed, the resources that they needed. So I am here to help you. So if you're watching this live, you can ask me any question you have, so just write it in the comments. You, of course, can say hi, introduce yourself. I'd love to see where people are coming from. But again, I'm answering this main question, and then we can also answer individual questions that you have that can be like totally off topic as well. Okay, so the one that I thought of this week was from this research that I'm doing. So I'm doing these research questions, and it's like 12 questions. But the question was all about like what your biggest struggle was. And a lot of people I just felt had this sense of like being stuck. Like they didn't know what to do next. Things maybe weren't working out the way that they wanted them to. And a lot of people haven't even like really begun their career, but they just felt stuck. They felt lost. They didn't know what to do. So I thought it would be a great time this session to just talk about 3 things that you can do to help get yourself unstuck. So first, I just want to say that being stuck is totally normal, that you shouldn't feel bad about yourself. You shouldn't feel like there's anything wrong with you. It happens to everyone. It happens to us at all stages of our career. A lot of times people think like once you get to a certain level, like you'll feel good, you'll feel safe. And yeah, like getting the PhD does help. It does boost your confidence and stuff. But I guarantee you, at all the different levels, if you're in college, if you're in graduate school, after graduate school, looking for that job, if you're in a postdoc, I felt this way. I was in a postdoc previously before this. And even if you're in a new job, you kind of feel stuck, or you can feel stuck, and you can definitely feel lost. So if you're feeling this way, don't worry, you're totally normal. Okay, so I just thought of a couple of things, 3 things actually. Nova Conservation said they feel stuck, yes. So I thought of 3 different things to help you get unstuck. And the first one is probably my favorite. So what this one is, it's very simple, it's very easy to do, and I think it's often really overlooked. Actually, I think it's totally overlooked. I never got this advice in my career at all. And it's to really think about why you are doing this. And I really mean think about this. So like get quiet. I'm a big believer of meditation. I am also a big believer, a recent believer in the past few years, of listening to yourself, like listening to your inner voice or your intuition. So I recommend like doing some meditation, doing some breathing exercises, perhaps do something really, really relaxing. and get in touch with why you decided to go into this career in the first place. And see if you can get really, really specific about it. Like, what is it about this career that you are really passionate about, that you really love? So for different people, it's different things. Like in graduate school, some of my colleagues were like, I knew when I was 5 years old, I wanted to be a scientist. That was not me. I actually never wanted to be a scientist, to tell you the truth. Even when I was a scientist, my main drive was not science. My main drive was conservation and helping out animals. That's really what my main drive was. So I just recommend that you get into like what your why is and like why you were called to this career, and then see if you can use some of that to help you get unstuck. So for example, a lot of people want to go into this career because they like to be outside. That's a really, really big one. So if you're feeling stuck, maybe your next move has really nothing to do with wildlife science or science at all. Maybe it has to do with pursuing jobs that are more outdoors in general. And like I said, not necessarily a science job. So see if you can get really clear on why you're doing this and the things that bring you joy in this career. And yeah, like where's your happiness from being in this career? So the next thing is kind of similar, but well, it's different. So that's number 2. It's similar, but it's different. I highly recommend looking at the job boards now, and I have this tool that I talk about all the time. It's called the Job Tracker, and I recommend to use that to help you. You don't have to though, but it just helps you organize the jobs. And it's just a spreadsheet, and really look at the jobs that are out there now and choose ones that you like and put it on the Job Tracker. And this will also help you get to your why. Like, what types of jobs do you keep putting down? What are the duties? What are the responsibilities? That's another way that you can get at your why. So if you're totally lost and you have no idea what you're doing, going through the different jobs that are out there can perhaps give you some direction. And the answers might surprise you too. A lot of people may think that they want to have more of a science-based career. But then once you start going through the job boards, you might actually realize that you're more interested in education. So this job tracker can kind of add some interesting results, give you some interesting perspectives on yourself that you might not have realized before. And as you're doing the job tracker, I would also tap into that first point as well. Like, why are you adding the jobs that you're adding? Does that help you get to your why of being in this career? And if you've used the job tracker, please comment and if it's been useful for you or not. I love getting feedback on that. If you're just joining, I see people are just joining, you can ask any questions here. Just leave it in the comments and I will answer them. Oh, it looks like we got 2 comments on Facebook. So Lauren saying hi. Hi, Lauren. I hope you're doing well too. And Kelly says, I tend to avoid looking at jobs so I don't get disappointed at all the ones I don't fit the criteria for. But that is a good idea. Yeah, try not to get too ahead of yourself. So the way I look at it is like, okay, yes, you can be disappointed that you are not yet qualified for those jobs, or you do not yet have those criteria for their jobs. But you can also look at it perhaps on the flip side of being like, okay, here's my goal, or here's my, this is like my ultimate achievement, my happy place to get this sort of job. And what can I do? What are the little steps I can take to get me there? And the more jobs you look at, maybe you'll find out that there's some that you don't need that many steps for, or maybe it can be fun to fill in those missing gaps. Like if you need more birding experience, like bird banding experience, you can volunteer somewhere and get that experience. So I understand that it can be disappointing because you want the job right now. But if you can try to like switch that and be like, how can I improve myself to make myself the most competitive for this job? And maybe that's taking a job too in the meantime that is not your ideal job right now. I know when I started my very first position, it was a volunteer position, was working in a lab on flower beetles. It was an ecology job working on flower beetles. And did I like going to the job? Honestly, I didn't love it that much at all. I didn't like working on flower beetles. I wasn't really passionate about the research, but I knew it was going to get me to that next step. I knew that in the back of my mind that this would pay off, and it did. Later, it got me a job at Disney's Animal Kingdom, which was the best job I had in my life. And that was all because of lab work that I got in the flower beetle lab. Okay, so the next point, we're talking about how to get unstuck. And this one is to get help. There's a lot of resources now online. There wasn't as much when I started. And there's still a lack compared to other fields, but there's a lot more today that can help you. So you can check out my podcast, Conservation Careers, my blog. I have tons of blog posts. There is Christina Lynn on YouTube. She's also on Instagram, but she has a lot of YouTube videos that are helpful. There are Facebook groups that you can look at and ask questions. But so with this, I want you can start getting ideas for like where you can go. But with this, I also do want you to remember to not get too carried away with what other people are saying. So go back into number one. What is your intuition telling you? What is your why telling you? Because it is really easy to get caught up in like, oh, somebody said I should take GIS. I should take GIS. Well, no, go back to your job tracker. Are the jobs you are writing down, do they require GIS at all? If they don't, then you don't need GIS. So don't just follow this advice blindly, or don't just follow these groups or the blog posts, whatever, blindly, but use them to like pique your interest, to give you ideas, and to maybe perhaps get you going in a different direction, or like I said, give you some new ideas for your next step. So those are just 3 things that I'm giving you tonight. I have lots more ideas, and especially when it is tailored to you guys. So if you're really feeling stuck, please reach out to me. You can send me an email. You can send me a direct message, and I'm more than happy to hop on a Zoom call with you for a few minutes and help you get unstuck. Okay, so we have someone saying part of the reason I feel stuck is because I graduated in 2019, and I feel like I keep forgetting things I learned back in college, which make me feel like I'm not ready for some jobs I like. I hear you. I totally understand where you're coming from. In my PhD, you take something called your comprehensive exams, and one of the postdocs in the lab told me that after you take your comprehensive exams, you feel like the smartest ever, and then you feel like you get stupider. Like that was the information. Like you crammed all this information. You were like the smartest you could be, and then every day, every year, you like forget it. But okay, so there's a couple of things to keep in mind here. Most jobs, in my experience, they don't directly take from your degree, and you have to like relearn things. So your job is not going to be like a big test. It's not going to be like, okay, like, you know, like you need to write an essay on predator prey or competition or something like that, or like it's not going to be a gigantic test or homework assignment. Your job, it's going to be very specific to the thing that you do. You're most likely to get jobs that you have experience doing what they do, so it's going to be something likely that you're going to be experienced in. And then all jobs require a gigantic learning curve. And then people, this is some other advice I was given that was really helpful. People also grow into the positions that they're given. So if you feel like a job is like above you and you are not competent for it or confident about it, believe that you will grow into that position. And I can guarantee you there's tons of assistant professors who feel this way. They are just out of grad school, out of postdoc, and they have a assistant professorship. They do not feel good enough. They definitely have imposter syndrome. But the people who hired you believe in you. They believe that you have what it takes. So it's really a mindset issue that that you need to learn how to tell yourself that anything that you need to figure out, you will be able to figure out. You can network with people, you can connect with people. There are people there to help you. You don't need to know everything as it is on your own. And like I said, your work is usually so different than your school. You're going to be learning new things. You're going to be learning things in depth. And especially I would say that for entry level positions. So yeah, try to work on your belief systems. And I have a program, and that's like something huge that I focus on, is changing your beliefs, because once you change your beliefs, it changes the way you feel. I learned over the years that your thoughts lead to your emotions. I always thought you just like had these emotions, but really you can choose your emotions by choosing your thoughts. So over the past few years, I've really worked on changing my thoughts, and it has helped me immensely. So, so yeah, believe in yourself. It's not about the degree. The degree is just kind of like a check mark. People really care about your experience. So if you have good experience, apply for that job and believe that you can do what you need to do. Okay. Yeah, we got a couple of more comments. Yeah, about forgetting things. Yeah, like, and so many people have forgotten things. And I think also just the way that our school system teaches things, like you cram for a test. I actually remember I was a teaching assistant for non-majors biology, and they're a little bit different because it wasn't their major, but still they were like, I remember one of them said, like, I'm cramming for the test, and then the second it's over, I'm like letting go of it. I forget it. And that's kind of what we teach in school. We don't really teach like problem solving skills or like how to work through things. It's more like memorize and forget. So I would not let that hold you back at all. You got the degree. That's really important. It shows that you have background information in this. And trust me, you know so much more than you think you know. That's another thing, is like just talking to regular people, you realize how much you know. So don't let that hold you back. You know a lot. You're a smart cookie, even though I don't know you. I know you are. Okay, guys, I don't think we have any more comments. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. I'm going to do this again in 2 weeks. If I'm not traveling, I have a bunch of travel coming up. So hopefully it won't coincide with that. If you have any more questions, again, just send me a message or a comment. And if you have any topics for the next time, let me know. And I'm happy to use that as the main theme. Okay, thanks, guys. Bye. Have a great